featuring more bad twists than a 50s dance recital. Shook is a Shudder original directed by Jennifer Harrington, who also wrote the movie along with Alicia Glidewell, and if you don't think I could slowly pervert that last name, you don't know me very well. This movie doesn't really star anybody of note, even though some of the actors have been in a few movies, because none of the characters fucking matter at all. There's Daisy Taylor, Emily Gross, Nicole Posner, who, well, they're three lovely women, so I will say that is one of the bonuses of the movie. In fact, the only bonus is the women are very pretty and try their best, and the movie basically involves a ton of twists that really don't amount to anything because it's a very simple story set in one location because it's made on the goddamn cheap, and it isn't very good. Did you fucking get that from the little intro? It isn't very fucking good. Unfortunately, it's also one of the typical, attempts at slasher movies that tries to do something like, oh, we're going to go in this direction. Oh, we're going to have these fancy graphics and everything because they're social media influencers. Like that means any goddamn thing anymore because social media has been around for so goddamn long. Being a social media influencer doesn't take too much goddamn talent anymore. But anyway, we have these characters such as they are. We have Mia, who is a social media influencer. And one night during a red carpet event that really is consisting of about 10 people, they're in this little set, which actually I guess is supposed to be a comedic moment because funny. This one girl has a dog that pisses on her dress, and she decides to go through this dark alley right into a bathroom that's awfully clean for being right next to a dark alley. And then, oh boy, then she ends up losing her dog. The dog goes to this bathroom stall, and they toss treats at the dog. And then I was thinking, okay, don't you dare have the dog die because I don't like animal violence, don't you dare. Nope, this girl gets a heel through her goddamn jaw. About the only creative kill in this goddamn movie. And then from there, it turns out that there is this dog snatcher slash dog killer slash, people killer that is terrorizing people in whatever the fuck town this is, USA. And Mia ends up, since this was a friend of hers, she decides, hey, I'm not going to be part of this live stream with some friends of mine as well as my boyfriend. I'm going to leave the boyfriend along with a couple flirty women, including one woman that is very, very flirty, that may be the flirtiest goddamn woman in a, horror movie in the last 15 fucking years. God, she was so goddamn horny, I'm amazed she didn't jump the goddamn houseplant. And she decides to go babysit her, or dog sit her, sister's dog. And from there, weird things start happening. Her sister goes out to San Francisco. Their mother had recently passed away, and there turns out to be like, some device, like, oh, it's like Alexa or Diane, turn on the light. Diana, turn on the light. Princess Diana, turn on the light. And she crashed. But basically, it's all voice activated and stuff like that. And there's these weird social media graphics because that's basically how they dressed up this 85-minute movie. They basically said, hey, we're just going to put this like it's a goddamn WWE Thunderdome. Can't we get beyond Thunderdome? And Mia sees all this stuff play out in real time. And we have to see this stuff on the screen because we can't just trust that she's typing this stuff. We have to watch her endlessly do shit on social media because this movie has no goddamn material. And let me just say right now, Jennifer Harrington and Alicia Glidewell may actually have some talent. I'm not even saying that they don't, but their talents were not put to good use here. I understand what the movie was trying to do, but it also tried to do something where it's like, okay, we're going to go in this direction, and then we're going to go here, and then it's going to turn out that the original direction we were going was right, but we're going to twist a few things, and we don't know what the hell we're doing, and since we're in one location, we just have to try and come up with reasons for why somebody shouldn't leave a goddamn house immediately. The Vigil did that really well. This movie did not do that very well. I recommend you guys check out The Vigil. So, Mia ends up getting talked to by a guy named Kelman, who decides to play a game with her. And basically, her friends and everybody are suddenly part of this, weird web of games where she has to pick and choose between people, or otherwise dogs will die, people will die, everybody will die. Lance Archer invaded this movie. The Murder Hawk monster is here. Everybody dies. If you get that, you get it. And then they try for another twist, and then they try for another twist. And then by that point, it's like a really botched pretzel ball. Like, they tried to twist it. It came into a pretzel ball, but it was just really not very good because it was rotted from the goddamn inside out. And by the time you get to the actual reveal, you don't really care because anybody that's seen a goddamn horror movie or has been outside for 5 fucking minutes could have figured out where this was going from the word go, especially, or at least from about the first 10 to 15 minutes in. And then it just limps along. People do stupid shit just to advance the plot, such as it is. And then we get to a conclusion that's just absolutely hilarious. Thankfully, Thankfully, the dog's okay. I will say that the dog ends up, being fine. I will spoil that much right here, but I'm going to get into spoilers right now. So, yeah, this movie is not very good. The dialogue's shit. The acting isn't really all that good, and even though the actresses tried their best, and I'm sure that everybody did the best they could, this movie was not good at all. Getting into spoilers right now. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Okay. So, me has a sister, and the mother died of, of a brain condition called Livingston's, I presume. Haha. And her sister has that. Her sister has been a little bit jealous of the fact that Mia was not around to take care of her mother. She went off to school and she took care of the mother, and now the sister has the same condition. So she decides to go to San Francisco for experimental treatment. And then these things start with this guy, Kellnan, and it turns out that her friends are playing a game on her. Because it turns out that all this stuff, like, yo, you must choose between these two people. Oh, no, how could you do that? Oh, you didn't choose the dog dies. No, the dog doesn't die. And then they basically continue these games where, like, oh, you have to answer me these questions 3. The movie's original title should have been Looking for Chico, because that was the name of the dog, from Chico, Santana, California. Gorilla Monsoon, man. Jesse Ventura said some weird stuff on commentary. And you have to answer these questions. Okay, do that. And then you find out, and then she finds out that her friends have just been playing a game on her and they're locked in this house somewhere. This house seems kind of big, but it doesn't seem to have that many goddamn rooms. It's not the Amityville Horror House with a weird demon in the basement, or James Brolin's beard, co-starring James Brolin, interfering with the goddamn shit, or a weird cat meowing and scaring every cat in the goddamn neighborhood. This movie basically it probably would have been better as a haunted house movie. No, they tried to make it a straight up slasher, even though it's obvious it's the sister. The sister is a fucking killer. The friends were playing a game, and then suddenly, oh no, the friend, Lanny, ends up, not Lanny, Popo, ends up dead in the pool because she was jealous of all the amount of followers she had on social media and basically fucked her boyfriend and stuff like that. So she dies, no big loss there. And then it turns out that this Kellnan is very real, but it's a voice modulation app, and it turns out that the sister actually has been doing this because the sister was upset that Mia kept doing all this shit that she wanted to do, and her brain condition, and living with Livingston's, I presume, would be rather difficult. And then she basically tells her, hey, I'm going to kill your friends unless you break your own leg. Oh, I said leg. So she broke one of her legs and then tried to break the other leg, and that didn't work. I'm skimming through a lot of this stuff because it's so goddamn goofy and ridiculous. The sister is upset because why the hell wouldn't she be? I mean, that's what you do with a villain slasher 101. You just basically be upset for no damn reason. This could have worked if they would have made the characters a little more grounded, but no, they just instead put the movie in the goddamn dirt, and it didn't end up succeeding at all. It wasn't scary. This guy Kellnan actually is real, and he turns out being a neighbor, and he has Chico, and then he gets shot, and then the sister ends up getting dispatched. And then she ends up escaping, and she's fine, and that's really it. Everybody's okay, who cares? And you know what? That's really all I gotta say about that. Looking for Chico in Chico, Santana, California. And here's the thing. This tried to be Saw. It didn't work. It was really fucking dog shit, and that's really all I gotta say. I would throw this stuff, but I'm not gonna confetti my room. Not fucking worth it. This movie gets an F. Gets a goddamn F. I hope that everybody involved moves on to bigger and better things. I understand trying to make a movie on a shoestring budget. Good God, this movie was shit. It wasn't shook. Nobody was shooketh, as the kids say. We were just shook to our core, maybe, by how bad this was. F. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.